So, you want to play as a scout. That's great. He's a very fun class and he's pretty versatile too. But he can be a pretty tricky class to learn about all the basics of. And since Valve's tutorial mode is nothing but a joke at this point, it can be pretty tricky to learn all this stuff. However, I'm here to change that. Welcome to this video of Scout for Very Beginners. Scout has some pretty interesting stats that make him different than the other 8 classes. One big thing is that he's the fastest class in the game, running 33% faster than the average speed of 100%. He also has the ability to double jump, which no other class in the game has this ability, which makes Scout's mobility very unique. With his combined speed and mobility, this makes Scout perfect for offensive pushes and flanks. What makes it even better is that Scout has a double cap rate. That means if a Scout is standing on a point or pushing the payload, it'll count for 2 people, meaning the speed will be significantly faster. However, this does come at the cost that Scout has 125 health, which he's tied with the Spy, Engineer, and Sniper with the lowest health out of all the classes. As of your weapons, it'll consist of the following: a scattergun, a pistol, and a bat. A primary, secondary, and melee respectively. The scattergun is pretty much going to be your best friend. It's going to be the weapon you're going to be using the most, and you should be using it the most. It's nothing shorter than a fancier shotgun, pretty much. Has 6 bullets in the clip, has 32 in the reserve, and it's a pretty powerful tool with a maximum damage of 107. Meaning this weapon can out DPS even the rocket launcher. However, unlike the rocket launcher that does insane explosive damage, the scattergun focuses on a 10 bullet system, meaning every shot will fire about 10 pellets, doing a decent amount of damage. The more pellets you land, the more damage you'll do. So it's best off that you land as many pellets as you can to do increased damage. You won't be landing all 10 pellets, but you should at the very least land at least 7 or 8 to do a decent amount of damage. Also, don't forget that pellet spread is an important thing to know about. Meaning if you fire from a longer distance, the pellets will spread out more, meaning you'll be hitting less pellets, thus dealing less damage. Also, never forget to reload as much as possible. I highly recommend turning on automatic reload, so you don't forget to reload and you won't be caught with your pants down when you run into an enemy. As for your secondary, your pistol's a good backup weapon in case you don't have any shells loaded in. It deals pretty consistent chip damage, which is really good because it can deal a pretty decent amount of damage if you aim it properly. It also has a pretty fast reload, and it reloads the entire clip at once, unlike the scattergun that reloads one at a time. It's a great tool for finishing off players that didn't die from all your scattergun hits and you're out of ammo. However, just like the scattergun, try not to aim it from the longer ranges because you won't be doing nearly as much damage and you won't nearly be as much accurate as you would at close range. And as for the bats, you shouldn't really be focusing too much time on it because the scattergun deals way much more damage at close range, and since melees are designed to be dealing close range damage, the scattergun can out DPS the bat any day. That being said, I highly recommend using the Boston Basher as your melee. It's a great tool that can deal the same damage as stock and also deal bleed damage, meaning they'll slowly lose health over time. Just don't miss or you'll hit yourself and do bleed damage to yourself. Idiot. Also, that wasn't meant as an insult to you, the viewer, it's just, that's what it says in the stats. No, literally, look it up on the wiki. You also might notice that there's other unlockables for your primaries and secondaries. However, the scattergun and pistol are the most reliable, have the highest clip size, and is pretty much best for every situation. But I will be talking about these unlocks in a later video in sort of the intermediate scout episode where I talk about the unlockables and stuff. How you should play is pretty simple. Use your movement to your advantage. Your double jump and intense speed is really important. Try to be as unpredictable in your movement as you can. As a scout, you are constantly going to be using your WASD keys a lot to be doing all these unpredictable movements. Also, you have to use your double jump to your advantage. If you don't know how to double jump, simply just jump in the air and then jump while in midair, and you'll do a second jump. And you can actually change your direction of movement by simply just doing the double jump. Meaning if you jump forward, you can actually jump backwards by just hitting the spacebar while holding down the S key. This is a really good thing to know because it can help you dodge projectiles really well. And since you have a hit scan weapon, which is just a fancier term saying as soon as you fire, it'll register on the player, you have the capability to go many fights where you can hit them, but they can't hit you. It's also important to know the stats of every unlockable weapon in the game. I highly recommend doing a little research on the wiki to know about all the weapons and their stats. It can help you in future fights to know how to fight certain classes and certain weapons without you, dying. Like for example, I come around the corner and I come face to face with this sniper. I know for sure the sniper is 125 health, meaning 2 simple meat shots will take him down easily. However, I also know that he has the huntsman equipped, meaning if I'm not careful enough, he can simply just pull back his arrow and get a headshot on me, thus killing me instantly. However, I also know that after every single shot, the huntsman reloads much slower, so I gotta make sure I make him waste that shot, then go in for the kill. And knowing your stats isn't just for scout, it can help you out if you're playing soldier or pyro or whatever, because then you'll know your drawbacks and advantages when fighting against certain classes and weapons. Also, just running around on offline servers can help too, knowing the health kits and knowing the flank routes and places you can go and hide and stuff like that. In the end, the player who wins is a player that knows more about the game. Move unpredictably, jump a lot, and most importantly, kick butt. My name is the Scout Mate that nobody remembers on YouTube, and thank you for watching my Scout Tips for Beginners.